rise of incels. I see these videos pop up, and I love watching videos like this because I will always have a lot of things to say. It's your chat. It's real. Yep. Here we go. Video of my subreddit. Yes. A video of Twitch.
When I was 10 years old, I had my first real crush. It was 4th grade, and summer was approaching. There were rumors spreading around about a girl in my class named Maddie who apparently liked me. Or rather, more than liked me. As a young kid who hadn't yet been conditioned by the internet, societal norms, or proper manners, I decided to confront her about it. "Is it true that you like someone?" I said. She replied simply, "Yes." After asking her, "Who?" 1,000 times in the hallway in between classes, she told me I was starting to sound like an owl, and she stormed away. But eventually, she did open up about her feelings towards me, and I told her that I had a crush on her too. But then, summer hit, and I no longer had any way to see her other than romanticizing her yearbook picture in my room. I didn't have a phone, and at most, I'd be lucky to see her online in AOL Instant Messenger. Now, how many of y'all remember that? As the first few weeks...
I had AOL Instant Messenger too. Absolutely, man. Yep, AIM, exactly. AIM, ASL.
Weeks of summer went on, I couldn't bear being away from her for any longer. So I decided to look up her house phone number in our school's directory and give her a call. After around 9 rings, it went to voicemail, and I left one explaining that it was her classmate, Cole, trying to talk to her. I then proceeded to call her another 5 times because I had no conception in my head of what...
I'm surprised his parents let him do that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, my mom would always be sitting next to the phone. She's like, "Who are you calling?" "No, you're not calling him. He's not coming over today. Nope. Not him."
Creepy guy would be like.
5 times, yeah.
I was being that creepy guy. Finally, she called me back after a few days, and she said to me, "My mom says you need to stop calling me. It's getting weird."
Yep.
She hung up, and we barely spoke to each other again. As I was reflecting back on this story when I thought about the idea for this video, I wondered how radically different this interaction was from what most 10-year-olds do now. And not just 10-year-olds, but people of all ages. It's clear a lot has changed in terms of dating and how we interact and form relationships in the past 15 years. With kids in single-digit ages having access to any information they could possibly desire at their fingertips,
that's a bit
dating
weird.
apps on the rise, and individuality becoming more realistic, the landscape of intimacy has morphed into something scary. The number of sexless men between 18 to 30 years old tripled from 2008 to 2018. And
yes, but also the graphics in video games have also tripled from 2008 to 2018. So whenever you think about it, it makes sense. Yeah, it really does make sense. Like once you put everything into perspective here, I've showed this graph before too. There's a lot of guys, and this is the thing, right? Is there's a lot of guys that they don't really do anything. They just sit around all day, and they can't get a girlfriend because they're losers. I don't know. I can't think of anybody like that offhand. Yeah, I can't think of a single one. Wow.
18 to 30 years old tripled from 2008 to 2018. And I can only imagine that it got much, much worse when the pandemic hit.
Yeah,
With this has come the rise of the involuntary celibate movement, or incel for short.
Yeah.
A group of men who are convinced that they cannot and will not be able to form a relationship with women ever due to all the problems brought upon by the modern dating market.
Well, I think it's also like guys, they don't really have a girlfriend in in middle school, and then you don't have a girlfriend in high school, and then it becomes like a thing because like you didn't do it, and so now you feel like you can't do it, but you want to do it, but you can't do it, and so like it turns into this like weird paradox of like getting your first job or something like that, where you need to have experience, but in order to get the job, you have to have experience, but you can't get experience if you can't get the job. It's like one of these situations, and so you have a lot of guys that get put in that position for whatever reason. It could be 100 different reasons.
Much of these men's assumptions are based on fact, and
He's
how much of it is
hold
men...
up, I'll read something. He's acting like this is a self-diagnosed thing. No one calls himself an incel. It's mostly an online label used for slander. So, well, I mean, number one, you contradicted yourself because you can't say no one calls themselves an incel and then say it's mostly used. I don't think that's true. There are a lot of incel subreddits of people that talk about being incels and they say that they are incels. Yes, this is not something that you would do if you had your real name attached to it, but I think that people often seek out these conversations in an anonymous setting.
Projecting their trauma as a way to cope with the fact that they're fat, lazy, and socially awkward. Today, I want to explore that question, the ways in which dating and marriage have changed, and what young men struggling with loneliness can do to improve their current situation so they don't end up an incel. Because that is a very, very...
Well, number one, you have to make more money. Number two, you have to get taller. And number three, did I mention making more money? Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. So then, yeah, again.
And lonely path that you do not want to tread on. More choices, more opportunity. First off, we need to deal with the elephant in the room, online dating. As I was doing research for this video, diving into the depths of internet forums, YouTube videos, and studies, I found a common theme throughout almost all of them. Most of the data collected had to do with dating apps like Tinder. Sadly, this is where a lot of researchers and incels seem to be basing their ideas off of. Before I was doing research, I thought that...
Well, I think it's also like a lot of guys, they want to date a hot girl, but the girls don't want to date them because they're like, they're ugly, right? It's like these guys, they want to date a girl that goes to the gym every day. Meanwhile, they've never been to Planet Fitness even. Like, this is just what happens. And I think that there's a lot of times where it's like, yeah, a guy can get a girlfriend, but the girl that he wants to date is like way more attractive or higher status, and he's not able to do that.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty good idea to see where dating is in the modern world.
Okay.
I feel like most of my friends in real life have at least tried online dating, but what I found shocked me. The percentage of adults who use Tinder above the age of 18 in the United States by April 2020 was only 13%
It's not
total.
that much.
17% of men have used Tinder, and just 7% of women have used Tinder. Now,
I feel like, yeah, that's about right. And I feel like if you add in all of the dating apps, right, you're talking about like Plenty of Fish, I don't even, those are the only, that's the only two that I know. What are some? Bumble, is that another one? Okay, Hinge, Match.com, okay, Cupid, yeah, there you go, Farmers, yeah, Christian Mingle, Farmers Only, Grinder. Yeah, you put all of these together and you're probably going to be looking at like 40 to 50%. I'd say somewhere around there.
There were only 602 respondents for this study, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's closer to 20% total who have used Tinder.
Yeah, sure. I think it's probably more.
After the pandemic.
And especially like whenever you consider Tinder is effectively in this conversation interchangeable with any other dating app.
That means 80% of the dating market over the age of 18 has not even used Tinder once. 80%. Not only that, but 80% of the people on dating apps like Tinder are men, and only 20% are women. It's complete.
Yeah, of course it is. Like, it's the same, like, yeah, fucking obviously. Like, personally, I've never used Tinder before. I've never used any of these dating apps. I didn't really get into it. It's not my thing. If there, like back in the day, if there was a hot girl, I would just find her on Facebook. I would just message her like, hey, you're really hot. Do you want to start talking? And that would be it. So it's not like I would just use social networking sites as dating apps. But it's not like I never did this. I just didn't get a dating app exclusively for this.
Completely skewed in women's favor, meaning they have endless options that they can choose from on these apps. When you take 20% of people on a dating app and you allow them to choose from a pool of 80% of people on that app, it's no wonder that pretty much only the above attractive guys are getting swiped on.
Exactly.
Women have endless choices on these apps, whereas men would be lucky getting even one match. And frankly, what I've heard from women and what I've seen on most of these dating apps from like my friends showing me or something, most men's dating profiles are not exactly optimized. When a woman...
No, they don't min-max it at all. Like, they have, like, a picture of, like, it's like them with, like, a popped collar and a Bud Light or something like that. And it's like the thing is, like, yeah, I love bitches. I like fucking bitches. I got a fucking problem. And it's like this guy, and he's, like, 110 pounds, and he's 5'9", and he's wearing a 3XL t-shirt. guess what? You're gonna have a hard time finding anybody. But if you go down to some of these like fucking these ratchet ass clubs downtown, I'm sure that guy could find a girlfriend. He's just looking in the wrong place.
Men can only judge you based on your appearance and some lines in your bio, then the main determiner as to whether she's gonna swipe or not is your looks. And the same is for us guys. So if you add most...
Well, it's not the same for us guys. Any guy, so like, this is my assumption that if you are looking at dating profiles, obviously, first thing you look at, is she hot? If you've, all right, established that, you look at, does she have any kids? And if the answer to those questions both is like, yes, she's hot, and no, she doesn't have any kids, that's a yes. It's that simple.
Men being bad at taking photos of themselves onto the fact that women can get the cream of the crop guys even if they're just average looking, then you can convince an average looking or above average looking guy that they're way uglier than they are because they aren't getting any matches. These apps completely distort who and what you actually are like in reality. When this happens, and since this is happening more often...
Oh, that's so fucking true, man. I'm gonna fucking hit you guys with a red pill. Man, there's some people that I meet them in real life, they don't look the same way they did on the internet. I'll tell you, that's a fact. Some of them, I didn't even recognize them. I didn't even know who they were.
We see more and more men running to online communities to confirm their biases. The human brain naturally will look for things to confirm how it feels about reality in that present moment. And so you'll get a guy who in real life is actually not too bad looking, reading all these black pill and incel Reddit posts about how it's over for even average looking guys, and a bunch of stories similar to what he just went through on a dating app, and he will...
I've been on these subreddits before. I've readed them multiple times, and it sucks. I mean, the thing is, like, it's always funny to meme on it, but there are a lot of guys that are in like a bad position, you know. It just sucks. I mean, they feel like they have low self-esteem. I think like the worst one for guys, I would say, is probably being short, because if you're short, there's nothing you can do about that, right? Like for me, I'm a skinny fucking guy. I'm a very skinny guy. And I'm going to be honest, whenever I was growing up, I felt really self-conscious about this. If you go back and you watch a lot of my old videos, you'll see that I never even show my arms in my videos because I was self-conscious about it back then. I didn't like being very, very skinny. It hurt me a lot. I even used to wear a shirt in the pool, right? And this would bother me quite a bit. But, you know, now that I'm older and all of the people that, you know, I felt were at a healthy weight then, well, now all of them are fat. And I'm not. So look who's winning now. Yeah, they've got, so I've got no problems with it now. I'm not complaining anymore. But the fact is that even back then, I could have just gone to the gym. I could have done something about that. If you're really skinny or you're really fat, Jeff was really fat, Cody was skinny, they both went to the gym, and they both worked out a lot, and then they have a much better physique. Both of them, right? Like, that's something that you can do. You can do that if you want to do that. You know, if you don't have a lot of money, you can fix that. But being short, bro, like, you're fucked. Like, you're just straight up fucked. It's crazy to me how somehow it's less socially acceptable to make fun of a woman's weight than it is to make fun of a man's height. I can't believe that. You know, maybe that's an incel take from me, but I always thought that was a little bit of bullshit.
I think there's no hope. And if you think there's no hope for you, and that's the mindset that you're giving off to the world, then yeah, nobody's going to be attracted to you in real life. But we're going to be talking about the impact of the rise of mental health issues soon. We need to stop basing and correlating online dating statistics with real life. It's been shown that the majority of people are only on dating apps as a confidence booster anyways. It's a tool for validation, not for true intimacy and connection. Okay,
that's crazy. I feel like, do guys do that, or is that a girl thing? Like, bro, I never even heard of that before. Like, do people actually do that shit? Like, yeah, it both? Damn, that's nuts. Guys do that? Yeah, to think like, oh yeah, I could, maybe, I don't know. I never heard that before.
Most women can choose from the top percentile of men on these apps.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, they can only judge you based on your looks. Plus, they're only on there because they want a confidence booster and not because they actually want you. Then why the hell are we taking evidence and statistics from dating apps?
Well, it's also the opposite, too, because, like, have you ever been working at an office and there's only one girl there that's around your age, and every other person there is, like, 47 with 3 kids? And so this girl is proportionally way fucking hotter than she would naturally be in like an average environment. Yes, at the IRS, exactly. Yeah, there was definitely one of those there for the IRS for me. 100%. Yeah, and so it works the opposite way too. It's like if there's only one girl there, well, I mean, shit. You know, I guess we're gonna have to simp for her now. Warehouse syndrome,
so seriously in the first place. Men, my advice to you, if you are an average or below average looking guy right now, just don't use dating apps at all. Honestly, you probably don't stand a chance. But here's the good news. The online
That's actually not true. I mean, like, again, I'm an ugly dude, okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm a fucking ugly dude. And if you just send a girl a message, like, you will automatically be above the bottom 20% of guys if you don't send your dick. Just don't send a picture of your dick, and you're automatically over like 20 or 30% of guys. If you don't ask for nudes within like the first probably 10 minutes of talking, that's another 20%. So just get good at talking to people. That helps a lot. Yeah, confidence does big work. Yeah, it does.
Is not real life. That is a phrase you'll be hearing me say throughout this entire video, and the online world is completely screwing up your mental health. That is why I want to talk about something that I think so many of you could benefit from before you step your feet into the dating world again and you try to pursue something meaningful, which is therapy, and specifically online therapy with the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp.
See, like, I can tell now, because the way that I can tell with YouTube videos is you look at the time. It's like at about the first third into the video, so like you've already got them on the hook. Like, people are interested in the video, because if you played the video this early, if you played the fucking ad this early, shit, you know, people might click off of it because they're not as invested. But like, if you go into right here, that's whenever things are going to get serious. Yeah, and it's like whenever they say, and you know what else is going to help you with X, Y, or Z thing, you fucking know it's about to be an ad.
On channel for a while, you've probably heard of BetterHelp before.
Yeah,
they will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. BetterHelp has already helped over 2 million people live happier, healthier lives, and they have over 20,000 therapists on the platform, and they're adding more to meet demands. Much of what drives this incel mindset and culture is just a lot of traumatized men projecting their traumas and trying to cope with the fact that they have these problems, these mindset problems, and all these mental health problems that are
I don't think it's all a mindset problem. I don't. I think that if you are shorter than average, or even average height, because average height is not 6 feet tall. If you are shorter than average or just average height, if you don't have a great job, if you, you're not a really good looking guy, I think you're going to have a really hard time. Yeah, you're going to have a fucking hard time. You got to have to work harder. That's it. Yeah, there's some reality in it, man. Now, obviously, a lot of people, it's the same thing as in video games, right? It's like, well, you know, like we have a, let's say a Fury Warrior who's doing a lot of damage in our next raid. So like Fury Warriors are actually really good. But like if you actually go and you look at the statistics, Fury Warriors are really at the bottom of the meter. So like just because you have like one Fury Warrior that does really well, doesn't necessarily mean that it disproves the rule.
Completely destroying the way reality actually is. And so if you can really open up to someone like a therapist and someone who can actually help you overcome this trauma and all of your bad mental health habits that you have and your low self-esteem, then you can start getting towards the path of being someone who naturally is confident and attractive. On BetterHelp, you can start communicating within 48 hours, and the service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. Have any of you guys ever tried this? You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. And if you find you're not vibing with the therapist that you get matched with initially, it is free and easy to change therapists at
I heard there was something weird about it.
It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. So if you finally want to take charge of your mental health, escape this incel black pill mindset, and join the over 2 million people that are improving their relationship with themselves and others, then you can go to betterhelp.com/Cole. That is betterhelp.com/Cole. Then click the link in the description, and there's a special offer for listeners of my channel where you get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Cole. Now, along with the rise of dating apps has come a sharp decline in marriage rates. Why is this happening? Are women becoming more selective in real life and not just dating apps?
I think it's also because you can't make a living as easily now as you were able to back in the fucking 50s or the 60s. So it's like, obviously, marriage rates are going to go down because it's harder to settle down and make a living. People are saddled with insurmountable student aid debt. And, you know, people like my parents, I think, got married whenever they're like 27 or 28 or something like that. I feel like, yeah, a lot of people's parents probably got married younger than maybe you did. I think there's a lot of reasons, economic and also social. I feel like that explains no kids, not marriage decrease. I feel like kids and marriage are kind of hand in hand with a lot of people.
Women becoming more promiscuous, only choosing the Chads and Tyrones as attractive men are commonly referred to.
True.
As an incel, I'm sure that's the argument that you want to make, but that's not the entire story. What incels fail to realize is that women now have more of an opportunity to not be forced to be in a relationship with a man that they don't want to be in a relationship with.
That's definitely true, right? It's like if you had a kid with a guy because, you know, it's harder to get contraception back in the day, you're going to have like a much bigger reason to stay with the guy. Whereas like now, whenever you can get birth control a lot easier, it's like you're not going to have to worry about it, right? You want to break up with them, it's not a big deal. It's not like you have any, there's no strings attached.
And 100 years ago, marriage was pretty much a necessity for women. They had less flexibility with the jobs that they could pursue, and the amount of things that they could do only if they were married is pretty astonishing. It's something I first found out when I interviewed people on the street about modern dating.
When we were younger and dating, I mean, you had to get married if you wanted. You couldn't check into a hotel room unless you were married. You couldn't rent an apartment unless you were married. And so you know, society kind of dictated that I couldn't get a job, you know, my first teaching job unless I was married. So that's
holy
changed,
shit, that's crazy.
And so there's less pressure.
Is it really a bad thing that...
What the fuck, dude? That's so weird. Oh my god, shit was crazy? Yeah. What the fuck?
Women aren't forced to date and marry just anyone now? A lot of men like to use the statistic that 50% of marriages end up in divorce as an excuse to not even bother trying to find a partner. But divorce rates have been dropping steadily, probably due in part to the fact that women are no longer thinking to themselves, oh shit, if I don't get married at some point, I can't do anything.
It doesn't have to be like a fucking like, oh, I have to get married at 25.
Just marry a dude who I don't even find that attractive, but it's worth it anyways. Like, are we seeing that as a bad thing? Now, I still think marriage is set up to be much more advantageous to women, but the reason I'm using that example is just to show how much more freedom that women have now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, yeah. Because, like, if it's back in the fucking 1800s or the 1900s, it's a lot harder to go and, you know, like, go on your own as a woman. Like, I'm not talking about, like, nowadays, right? Nowadays, women have a lot of options. Obviously, like, there's always going to be problems and setbacks, etc. But, you know, in general, women have gotten a lot better than they did back then. And holy shit. it's a much different thing. Now, to me, I've always said that I think that marriage is best for the kids, and I'm an advocate of marriage. One day, I hope to get married. If I ever have a girlfriend or something like that, and I want to take it more seriously, I would absolutely get married. It's not even a question to me. Now, I know that there are some people and some guys that are like, oh, well, this is, like you're going to get taken advantage of, etc. Now, I feel like there's a lot of girls. Like, here's the thing: is that, like, if you're a girl and you have a kid with a guy and then the guy leaves you, it is way fucking harder to get another boyfriend. It's way fucking harder. And you have, like, all of these fucking problems, right? With, like, your boyfriend getting along with your kid and all of this shit. Like, a lot of guys, I mean, let's be honest, boys. How many of you guys, if you see a girl that has a kid, she's automatically off the menu? How many of you guys feel that way? Call them projects? Yeah, you're not going to play somebody else's saved game. Yeah, it's very, very common. Me. Right. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why they have marriage. Yep, that's one of the reasons. So I don't think it's as cut and dried as it's more advantageous for women than men. I do, however, think that probably in terms of child custody, that is true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, yeah, is it the same for single dads? I think it is much less the case for single dads because in a way, like, most moms are more involved with their kids' lives, like single parents. Like, you look at most average, there are way more single moms with a kid than single dads with a kid. But I do think that, yes, of course it would probably be the issue with anybody. Yeah, for sure. Not true. There are a lot hunting single. There are a lot of hurting single dads. Oh yeah, for sure. It's not. There's never going to be. This isn't a 100% situation. I just think it's a trend. That's all.
In that regard, they can now.
It's okay
make
to.
Just
Oh
as...
yeah, yo, real quick. It's totally fucking fine. If you don't want to date a girl that has a kid, that's fine. That's totally fine. Then don't do it. Yeah, then don't do it. Like, that's it. Yeah, I it's a preference. Yeah, you do date whoever you want.
Much money as men
don't
and have the option to choose when they want to settle down and with whom. Perhaps in this case, we can now make the argument that women have the ability to be more picky, but maybe they've always been like that, but they just never had the opportunity to use that. So now the men who lack desirability
and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, to say that, like, women have the ability to be more picky, I think that's probably a good thing because it's agency. I think everybody should have agency over their own future.
Are being exposed because they can't just force women to marry them. And I don't think it's at all
I was thinking about this the other day, because, like, back in the day, people used to have, like, 6 wives. What moron 3,000 years ago got rid of that? How did this happen? Like, what fucking idiot got rid of this? Where did this go away? Like, I mean, you think about this. Yes, it's like we used to have that, and now it's gone. How the fuck did this happen? Christianity? Shit!
That people like incels think. For example, a common argument is that most women want a guy that is 6 feet or over. If you're a guy below 6 feet, then don't even try. That's a common saying among communities like the incels and the black pillars. But if you really go past all the traumatized guys spamming that in the comment section,
I should watch this.
But if you
100 black pill beliefs in one video. Oh, that's a good one. I should definitely watch that. That's a great idea.
Really go past all the traumatized guys spamming that in the comment section, question what they are spamming, an ability that most people don't have the capability of doing, and look at real life. That is not the case at all. A study published by Rice University showed that 49% of women want to date a guy taller than them.
I love how guys act like this is women being fucking picky and it's not fair, but meanwhile they're like, yeah, I want to grow with really big boobs. I think that's we've got to have that. Absolutely. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, but these fucking superficial hoes only want tall guys.
average height for a woman is 5'4", and the average height of a male is 5'8". This means that as long as you're 5'5" and over, you still have a chance with the average women. And even if you are under 5'5", you still have 51% of the dating market that's willing to date you. You absolutely still stand a chance so long as you have what is considered to be desirable to most women in real life. And don't worry, I'll be going over why most men are not desirable these days and how you can be more desirable.
I think that whenever he goes that, it's going to be like a checklist of things that I do. You know, like it's gonna be, yeah. Basically, I've told people that I've crafted my own infinity gauntlet of being an incel, right? Never shower, play video games all day, live at mom's house. Let's see, what are the other ones? Balding. And let's see, is there another one? Done wash hands? Yeah, bad teeth. It's a minor thing. Yeah, I'll have to think of one more. Yeah, I'm sure I can think of one. Yeah, I'm not social. Completely antisocial. Yes, I have the infinity gauntlet. The Exodia.
At the end of the video. Unrealistic expectations and the change in social values. Yes. Can we all agree that the pandemic a lot of things up? Loneliness and mental health issues skyrocketed. People...
That's crazy, man. Like, I had no problem. My life did not change at all during the pandemic. Nothing changed at all. Like, I was fine.
Could not interact with each other in real life anymore for the past couple years, and till this day, many people still haven't fully recovered from what used to be much more extreme, and they rarely go outside. This trend was already starting to become more prominent, but the pandemic just sped it up tenfold.
Yeah, it did.
No longer are teenagers interacting occasionally through AOL Instant Messenger and having to get their fix of actual social connection through real life. My generation was probably the last one where we at least had a childhood and some teenage years.
And I think there's also like the reality where, have you ever talked to a girl online and then you met her in real life and she was like really fucking annoying and you realize like it's not worth it? Yeah, it's like, this is like, I thought this was going to be a great idea. Like, this is really fucking annoying. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And I think, like, if you have a few of those circumstances, I think it'll cause guys to lower their standards a bit, because maybe the standards are holding them back. Yeah, my wife. That's great, man. I'm happy for you.
Without a smartphone. But now, the virtual world makes the real world go round. So what happens when you take the majority of kids growing up and give them unlimited access to a device where every app is designed to keep you on it for as long as possible, that highlight drama, negativity, what's wrong with dating, men getting cheated on, women getting cheated on, tweets about really bad relationships? It starts to give everyone, both men and women, completely unrealistic expectations. You get a whole generation of people spending half of their waking hours in a reality that does not at all reflect how things actually are. Not only that, but it's so easy to feel like you're getting some form of connection by interacting with people online or watching videos of others, or to use it as a distraction from working on a version of you that is unmotivated, unappealing, and unconfident. It's something that I explained in detail in my video, The Love Shortage. For men, there's a couple key problems. First, there's dirty websites. Having access to this type of content at such a young age will absolutely shape the way most men view women and how they think.
Oh, that's definitely true, right? I mean,
women like being treated. On a
Yeah, I had to change that. It's an uncomfortable thing to look at. But like, just in general, yeah, absolutely. It's like you fucking grow up and you know, you spend all your time on these weird fucking websites. Then by the time that you're 25, the only things that you're sexually attracted to are animals that don't exist. Yeah, that's a fucking problem. That's absolutely a fucking problem, man.
subconscious level, your brain is going to be focused on all the wrong things, and you'll never be able to go beyond superficiality. You'll just be thinking of creepy ways that you can get her to do stuff with you. But the even bigger problem is what happens when men get rejected a couple times. If they haven't been taught at a young age how to approach women, be more confident, and handle rejection, which is the situation that most men find themselves in, then they will hate themselves and others. And when this happens, they will start to think that they're just destined to never find a girl who likes them. All of us guys know the complete destruction of self-esteem that a girl's rejection can have on us if we're still stuck in that mental stage of basing our worth based on whether that girl approves of us or not. In some cases, men can get completely traumatized if their situation is bad enough. So naturally, these guys go to the internet for advice or for some sort of confirmation.
Right, and the thing is, if you go to the internet, like that, yes, that happened to me. I was very upset about it. And it's denied 115 times. Well, it was a long time. It's a numbers game. Yeah, it was. It was awful, man. Simply stop caring. Well, the way that I kind of got over that is it's instead of just trying to talk to one of them, you'll talk to like 5 or 10 at a time. And then based off of that, you know, whichever one is going better, you just focus on that one instead. Like, that's what, you know, again, I get me and Cody to come back and Cody to come over at some time and we'll talk about what it used to be, because that's what it was. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not saying I do that shit now or anything, but I'm saying, like, when I was like 20 or 21, like 22, 19, absolutely. Fucking absolutely, without a question. Not anymore? No, I can't. Bro, I can't. Like, you think I could fucking go and, like, DM, like, 20 girls? Like, oh, hey, you're really hot? No, they're gonna post that shit on Twitter. I'm gonna look like an asshole. I can't do it. Remember, like, who was that guy? That holy fuck, that body of yours is insane? I don't want to have that happen to me. Yeah, that's not gonna fucking happen. No way, Adam Levine. Yeah, that guy looked like a fucking fool, man. No shot. I'm gonna put myself in that position.
Because they are in a state of mind that is looking for reasons as to why it's not their fault they got rejected, because they lack the ability to take responsibility, which is a trait that turns off a lot of women anyways, they eventually find themselves on these forums or videos that talk about how men are screwed if they don't have a ton of money, six-pack abs, and they're
By the way, women have these same fucking groups and these same support groups, by the way. Well, I don't want people to think like this is some kind of like toxic male trait. Women do this same shit. Men are trash.
And on all of these videos, the majority of the people in the comments completely agree with what the person is saying.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course they do, because they don't want to take accountability for the fact that they are
No, it's not just because that. It's because a lot of the guys that are on the fucking internet, it's like whenever I was dating Izzy, I didn't have a lot of time to be on the internet commenting, because it's like whenever you have a girlfriend, especially with Izzy, it's like you had to do, it's like 20 extra daily quests every single day, right? It's like we had to go out and we had to, oh, it's Sunday, we have to go out and buy candles. All right, and so then after you buy the candles, it's like, well, there's this nice restaurant full of a bunch of food you don't want. Well, we're going there, and I'm bringing my friends. Oh, great. And you're paying for, oh, great. This is, what a wonderful time. And then get home, oh, well, you never watched anything with me. All right, well, now we've got to watch a show together. And before you know it, and then I want to get on the game. She's like, well, I'm going to go to bed, so you've got to come to bed. Okay, all right. So I never would have had any time to comment and complain. I wouldn't have any time. Like, what? Yeah, there's nothing. When would I ever get onto the internet to watch one of these videos? Yeah, yeah. It's so many dailies.
They don't take care of themselves, and they're socially awkward and have no game. This creates these pill bubbles, as I like to call them, where people can't see a real objective approach to reality and dating outside of...
Well, I think that the problem with the black pill and the red pill stuff is that some of it is true. Right? It is fucking true. If you're ugly and you're short, you're going to have a harder time. It's a fact. Like, that's it. And I think it's not contextual. Sometimes it's not contextualized around the fact that like sometimes you can overcome these things too.
Whatever pill content they're taking, whether that's black or red pill.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of guys coming together, all projecting their trauma and playing the victim because they got rejected a few times or they had their women cheat on them, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, I know that I'm going to get attacked for that in the comments. There are some things that these pill people, whatever, say that are in fact true. But when you completely subscribe to that ideal and you think this is the only way that reality is, then that's when reality starts to get skewed, and you get to a very doom and gloom mindset if you take it too seriously and you're just so invested in these online things and what everybody is saying in the comments, like, yes, dude, yes, that's how it is, that's how it is. Like, go.
It's just, bro, what? This guy's delusional. There's actual statistics he's ignoring? Are you a person or are you a statistic? There are a lot of statistics that you, by the nature of the fact that you exist, you have already overcome. He's right, and that's what I was saying, is that it is true.
Go outside. If you consume enough of this content, it'll start to shape your worldview, and you'll give up hope. Bro, look at this graph this random YouTuber made that said my jawline isn't perfectly aligned so that I can get girls. Bro, look at all these guys in these comments that I don't realize are basement dwellers with zero experience. This content is not real life. But if you believe in it enough, then you'll approach every potential situation with a girl with the mindset of, what's the point of even doing this anyway?
By the way, I think that accelerationism will lead to it becoming more like real life. And more superficial ideals and things that are artificial will become more valuable. And these extremes and these types of, you know, if you don't have X, Y, and Z, you're a nobody. I think these are going to become more and more common and way more prevalent. Because online life is merging with real life. I think that saying online life is different from real life today is a much more gray statement than it was 10 years ago. And 10 years before that, it's a much less gray statement as well.
She's not gonna like me, I'm so ugly, everything sucks, and that is gonna be unattractive, and of course she's gonna reject you then, and then the cycle is gonna go on and on. Of course, we should take responsibility for our trauma and where we're at as men, but I do think for a subset of women, their expectations of what they think they deserve has also gone completely haywire. Now that
we've always seen these. We've seen these, you know, the pictures of the single moms that want a guy that makes over $240,000 a year, and she has like 3 different kids with 4 different guys. Somehow that happened. Yeah, it of course. Yeah, there's gonna be delusional women too. Yeah.
It is easier than ever for women to get validation from hundreds, if not thousands of guys simply just by having a social media presence. They will only want the best of the best, and they think they deserve that. And here's the thing about even below average looking women. They'll get the attention because guys who have been brought up by dirty websites, who are controlled by what's in their pants and haven't had a father figure to tell them how to actually interact with women, will simp over any woman if it means they'll even get a lick of attention back from them. We blame women.
Apparently this guy, this guy goes on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch a lot. Yeah.
For having unrealistic expectations, but the reason they have unrealistic expectations in the first place is because of us men. With that being said, here's what is extremely important to understand. The women with unrealistic expectations, here's what is extremely important to understand. The women
he moved up and I thought he put a chain on in between the different cuts. It freaked me out.
With unrealistic expectations due to social media attention are probably strongly overlapping with the women who can pick the cream of the crop on dating apps like Tinder, which is most likely a very small subset of women. But this is what I was talking about. All the data, all the stories on modern dating and women, they're based on a minority group. A group of women who you shouldn't even be focused on pursuing anyways, who won't go beyond superficiality and develop a deep connection with you, who won't support you, and who are, in fact, deluded and just want a guy with a ton of money who's super attractive and in the top 1% of men. These are the women that are highlighted in red and black pill videos because they confirm broken men's biases and they make for good controversial content.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you guys ever date a guy shorter than you?
Oh, absolutely not.
The light at the end of the tunnel. Everywhere I go, when I look around in public, I am astonished at how many average to below average looking men have girlfriends. The typical 3s and 4s that don't stand a chance, according to black pill YouTubers, are having tons of success with finding a partner and getting laid. It does not at all match up to what is
that's definitely fucking true. It always surprises me too.
Being told to men on the internet.
See, whenever I saw that, I thought to myself, wow, so it is my personality. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, alright, yep. 100%. It's not just how I look, it's also because I'm an asshole. Damn. I'm getting hit coming both ways here. Shit.
Plenty of my friends in real life who don't have that great of a job, who don't have a good physique, and aren't necessarily that good looking, have girlfriends. You know why? Because the women that are highlighted and complained about on the internet represent a small subset of women in real life. And even if it is true that women can be more independent and more selective, the pool of which they now select from has a greater chance of you getting picked, so long as you can heal. What all of this doom and gloom and artificial love has created is much less competition with the men who are actually taking care of themselves.
That's what I said before, is like if a girl mentions to you that she's interested in something and you don't say, you know, like let's say a girl mentions that she likes certain video game and you don't automatically quiz her and contest her on being a fake fan of that game, you've already beaten 10%. If you don't send her a picture of your dick, you've already beaten 20%. If you don't call her a hoe, you've already beaten, 15%. If you don't bring up Andrew Tate in the first date, you've already beaten 5%. If you don't talk about your political views and like how you think women are hoes nowadays, that's another 10%, right? So it's like I learned this whenever I would take algebra tests. Because obviously, I didn't do anything in the class. We would bang on the wall, and then other people on the other side would bang on the same wall, and we'd do we do that, and then they do that, and then we do, and then they do that, and that's what we would do in algebra. We never fucking gave a shit about the class. And so anyway, I had to break down and look at what do I have to know. I write my name on the page, that's 5 points. I turn it in on time, that's 10. I show my work, that's 3 points. So then I do things that I have no idea about, but I show my work, so I get 3 points on each one. And you build up that 71 in an aggregate. But you actually have no fucking idea how to do anything. But you just get the 71. You're not trying to learn algebra, you're trying to get a 71 on the test. Two different things.
Actually going out and talking to women in real life. Most men these days have low testosterone, they don't take care of their bodies, and they're depressed. If you can heal whatever social or relationship trauma you went through in the past, have an optimistic attitude, start putting yourself out there more and gain more social experience, genuinely take care of yourself, and have goals and ambitions, you will be miles ahead of the majority of modern men.
And don't send them a picture of your
19,
dick.
20 years old, ready to give up on women entirely. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? You don't even know who you are yet. You don't even have a personality yet. You've been rejected 3 times. You've never had a girlfriend.
No, there's plenty of people that have been rejected 40, 50 times by that point. Let's be honest.
Or maybe you've just had one and it ended really badly, and now your worldview is completely skewed and you're just a doomer. Of course most women aren't going to be very attracted to you. If your mental health is in ruins, start there. Stop spending all your time analyzing black pill graphs and what your sexual market value is, and start spending time figuring out the root of your low self-esteem and social anxiety. Watch videos that uplift you and help you to gain a better understanding of yourself. Realize that you have way more potential and power than you think if you can start to develop the right mindset towards life. And then clean yourself up. Take care of your skin, go to the gym, get a good haircut, dress fashionably, socialize with people.
This is getting to be a bit personal. Yeah, I don't know about this video, guys. Yeah, I don't know about it. I think this is a bullshit video. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this is. Yeah, what the fuck?
Keep flexing that social muscle so you can start to get more comfortable in social situations and have more confidence when you're there. Put the damn phone down and look around you. See how many average and below average looking guys are still pulling girls because they have high self-esteem, they have game, and they lean into what they like and the interests that they're pursuing. And for the love of God, please get rejected more often. Rejection is the greatest thing that can happen to you. If you can reflect on rejection properly and see what you did wrong, then eventually you will become completely indifferent towards it. And when you're going to a situation or a potential date with a girl with the mindset of, I don't really give a shit how this goes, that is attractive and you'll have a higher success.
Oh, I definitely think that's true. Like, to be detached from the outcome of things gives you control over them. I think that's in general true. Like, generally, whenever I play a game, whenever I'm doing anything, if I don't care about what happens, I play better. The more you care, the more you lose. For me.
Of her being attracted to you. And if, after all of that, you still get rejected 30 times in a row, then that's the point where you need to start thinking about changing the way you carry yourself. Realize that women are not these mysterious creatures. They're just a human being with the same insecurities and wants as you. Oh, Cole, I have passions in what I'm interested in, but nobody my age likes what I do. Bullshit, you're just not looking in the right places.
There's plenty of girls that like stupid shit. Like, I always get surprised about this. Like, yeah, there's plenty of girls like stupid fucking games and like getting involved in these dumbass fucking things. Like I remember I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I was like, man, this is a show about men, by men, for men. This is all about men. This is absolute complete testosterone. There's no fucking women that would ever watch this show. And then I find out that there's a bunch of girls that love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, what? The fuck do you mean? Like, what? There's like, yeah, what is this? It didn't make any sense to me at first. So many girls like JoJo, yeah. I was like, what the hell?
People you can find for anything that you're interested in, and simultaneously that'll be like the best place for you to meet a girl that you have a better chance of matching with. Oh, but nobody my age goes out or even talks to each other in person anymore. Okay, well then find the right people. Those people are in abundance if you look in real life. Oh, Cole, nowadays women are just stop. You're looking for women in the wrong places. Dating apps
whatever you're gonna say.
You'll find the woman that you want. If you don't like going out, going to a bar is probably not where you're gonna find a woman that you want. And if you have a shitty mindset towards life and yourself, and you hang around with people like that, then you're gonna attract women like that too. Finding events of things you're interested in, taking care of yourself and not being awkward, not needing a woman to make you happy in the first place, having a growth mindset, and getting...
I think that part's pretty important, right? Is like if you have... If you feel like you need somebody else to make you happy and you can't be happy without somebody else, I think that's a big problem.
Rejected over and over will eventually lead you to find a woman that you can connect with. You are way more attractive than you think if you can just escape this mindset cycle of hatred and doom. Stop making excuses, stop playing the victim, do what you can with the genetics that you've been given with, and you can do a whole lot more than you think. I promise you that. And improve your body language and communication skills.
I can't read.
Because this is not...
I can't wait to read the comments on this one.
Real life. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. If you don't know what this is,
oh, I can't wait to read these comments.
YouTube, where I'm putting out exclusive content. Plus, you can talk to me one-on-one over the phone on there. If you want to check that out, link in the description, patreon.com/Cole Hastings. Leave your comments below. I'm very open-minded, and I'm interested to see what people think of
5,000 comments
towards
on this
everything
one.
that's going on with the modern dating market. And that is it for this video. I hope it helped you. I hope it inspired you, and hope it made you feel a little bit better about yourself. That's it. I love you guys. Peace.
Yeah, I think that was a good video.
When I was 10 years
I do. I think that was pretty well done, pretty open-minded. Yeah, I don't know. You guys think that was like decent enough advice overall? Yeah, there you go. 285K, 5K comments is nothing. No, I think 5K is a lot. As somebody who I do YouTube videos, I would say that it is a good amount. Yeah, I thought it was a good video. It was pretty well put together. I think especially like not needing somebody else to make you happy is super important. I refuse to buy into the concept my self-worth as a man is based on how much sex I'm having. Yeah, I think that's definitely a negative thing, but a lot of guys get into that too. Man really said the online world's not the real world. It needs to get offline to the real world. And best way to do that is therapy, online therapy. That is pretty fucking funny. And also, I think that online life is much more like real life now than it was maybe 10 years ago. I think nowadays, like being online, like online used to be like a separate place, and now it's like an additional place. Where it's like you were a different person online, whereas like now most people are who they are in real life online, but they're just a little bit different. I think so, and I think that will continue to be the case.